Yes. Ooh, I hope it was as good for you as it was for me. Good evening, everyone. What it is. I'm Tyrus, in for Greg on this special edition of Gutfeld. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's so white, his a cappella name is Cocaine. Fox News contributor Tom Shalhoub. Some people say she talks a lot. Outnumbered co-host Emily Campagnano. He's a great guy who got his life together after some tough times. Actor, writer, and comedian Jamie Lizzow. It's so hot outside, she has her space heater on medium. New York Times best-selling author and Fox News contributor Kat Jenner. Now, if we could be serious for a moment, let's do some jokes. We're off to a good start, Kat. Or maybe we should just stop here. I don't know. All right, let's roll with it. Let's do it. All right, the White House says they called Hakeem Jeffries to give him a heads up about the airstrikes, but he didn't pick up the phone. In his defense, nobody ever called him on a Saturday night. Just keep ruling. All right. After Russia suggested that they may supply Iran with nuclear weapons, Trump asked if they were casually throwing around the N-word, nuclear. No. Personally, all I can say is, Mr. President, you my nuclear. Pete Hegseth said the airstrikes gave Iran's nuclear program a final blow. It worked so well, they're calling it Operation Stormy Daniels. All right. Georgia Democrat Hank Johnson posted an awful, out-of-tune version of Jimi Hendrix' song, Hey Joe. Would tell him not to quit his day job, but he sucks at that too. According to a new study, about half of the women say they want children aren't confident they'll actually ever have them. Fortunately, help is on the way. Okay, that's not the joke that I had in rehearsal. According to a new survey, 24% of Americans want to take a break from sexual activity. In medical terms, it's what's known as pulling a Hillary. Researchers now say recycled plastic can be even more toxic than new plastic. And here's the proof. Look, you can't say it's that old thing because it's a new picture. So, changed it up. Still terrible. A former Biden staffer said Kamala Harris would not have had the courage to blow up Iran's nuclear facilities, but she would be interested in Jaeger bombs. And finally, McDonald's and Krispy Kreme are ending their partnership. Over our dead bodies, said these men. And of course, I meant men as in mankind. All right, let's do some stories. After a ceasefire was announced, Israel and Iran accused each other of violating the terms and fired again at each other. But Trump has had it. Watch.
As soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.
Man, isn't it nice that we have a president who just tells you, we never have to go like, what is he thinking? I mean, I heard he made a statement, but it was confusing. He was all over the place. I don't know if he's upset at anyone or, no, you know exactly what he's saying. That's a grown-ass man right there. And anyone who's had to deal with brothers and sisters fighting and arguing, any parent can relate to that kind of frustration. Of course, this is on the world scene. Shalou, have you ever seen the president this pissed off?
No, and I mean, everyone's freaking out online. Oh, I can't believe the president is so undignified. It's like, what is, everybody swears all the time. On this show, even.
Yeah.
And
right.
Exactly. And you turn on TV, everything on Netflix, everyone is swearing all the time. Why can't the president swear? I mean, and he doesn't even swear that much. They act like Trump has a filthy mouth. Every once in a while, he lets one fly, but it's always at an appropriate time. And Democrats can't get enough of swearing these days. So I don't know what the big fuss about it is. I think it is funny that Trump, he just unleashed an unbelievable series of bombs. And then, like, the next day, he's like, no fighting, no fighting. He's getting pissed off now. He's like that. We used to have a teacher like that in my grammar school. He'd be like, no violence. He'd, like, smash our heads together. Hey, no fighting. Slap.
I can't be mad at his teacher because I kind of live by the same creed. Like, you run, hey, stop hitting each other.
Yeah.
Kat, what do you think happens next? Where does this go? I mean, do you think Israel and Iran were sitting watching TV like, is he mad at us? I mean, do you think they're going to pay attention that he's pissed?
Sadly, I would guess that conflict is probably not over in the Middle East.
Yes.
Was that too bold of me to predict? I mean,
no, I don't think so.
This interview, I'm struggling to think of a president being interviewed by the media that I enjoyed more than this one. I don't think there is. It was, I think, the greatest one I've ever seen.
Because he just answered, you knew exactly where he stood.
Also completely accurate.
Yes.
And he really boiled down a lot of very complicated politics. Listen, they've been fighting forever. They don't know what the they're doing.
Yeah.
Everybody felt that. I really believe everybody, no matter where you stand on any of these issues, felt that. I sent this video as soon as I saw it to most people that I know. My most liberal friend was like, yep, pretty much. If you didn't love that, you're lying. And if you're mad about the use of the F word, people are like throwing bombs at each other after you can use the F word. I think you can always use the F word, but that's like, please, right? But it is so frustrating, and it's such an impossible situation. And I obviously the fact that, as of right now, things have calmed. That's wonderful. That's amazing. But the fact that it keeps going, that is why I'm so hesitant for the U.S. to be involved.
Yeah, they've been fighting for centuries. So it's like one of those things where, like, we got 45-minute break. Everyone's like, finally. And then somebody forgets to say good morning, and it kicks off all over again. Emily, you're a master of language and a very high, fast pace. Was there another word he could have used for everyone who's crying? Because he used the F word in the right, it fit. It wasn't like you put it in and be like, oh, you should have used a better word. Could you have put a better word than the F word in that sentence for us to all to be like, I get it?
No, and here's what I was thinking about, like the brilliance of it. For those of us who use it way too often, it means nothing. It means nothing to me, it means nothing to you, because we say it all the time. But when you hear the president say it, the one time he's ever said it, then that's the impact. It was the perfect use. Like, that's a perfect, I would have advocated for this in a courtroom, right? He would have gotten, like, sent away, I don't care. Because the other thing is, it worked. So the F-bomb diplomacy has worked, because since that point, the ceasefire has actually held. And I think, leave it to the mainstream media or those libs that don't see that this was awesome to make it all about nitpicking the efficacy. Like, couldn't they just say, great job to those pilots? Hell yes, you put our interests first, Mr. President. Instead, they're saying, well, maybe it only set us back a few months and maybe a couple years. And they're totally spoiling the moment of celebration for our armed forces that pulled this, like, incredible collaboration mission off, as only one could under the leadership of only this president. So I guess I won't hold my breath for that, but we get to celebrate.
Here's the thing. He just used the F word, which means he doesn't really cuss so much to where, like me, I've used the F word so much that I have to add adjectives to it. I have to put a mother on the front of it, or or I got to add an A to the end of it. Like I'm desensitized from just the F word. So I have to embellish it with accoutrement
Yes.
to make it, to make it flow. And speaking of,
I'm sorry though. It really is the worst kind of person who, after we've been watching a war going on, he'd be like, well, he used the F word.
yeah, it's like, forget the bombs and the death. Use the King's English, please, good sir. And speaking of good sir, Jamie, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for I love the swearing,
Yes.
as you probably knew. I enjoy. Do you remember that one time Biden swore? He was standing in front of a huge flight of stairs and he was like, me.
That's right.
But I think a lot of good points have been brought up. Like with Tom, I think what you're kind of saying is he's being a real person.
Yeah.
Like he's being a real person in this real scenario. If he had said flippin', they would have been like, let's bomb each other. This guy's
Or he'd been in a really cool Mormon church.
Yeah, speaking of Mormon church, like even as comedians, I feel like there are times, especially television people, personalities, where you're sort of pretending you don't swear. And I like the fact that Trump does not pretend he's someone he's not. Like I did this comedy special once. It was one of those dry bar comedy specials. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Tom, but it's like you do a set and you're completely clean and it's actually in Utah for Mormons. And I filmed this thing and you do feel these parameters. You feel almost unnatural. And the week after I filmed it, they go, we're putting your special on YouTube and Amazon. What do you want to call it? Like, what do you want the title to be? And I go, what if we call it Jamie Lissow Tries Not to Say the F Word? For an hour, because that's all I did was try not to swear. And they go, we can't call it that because that's sort of still swearing. And I go, what if we call it, is it Mormon here or is it just me?
You know what? We went on a long trip, but that was worth it. Listen, and he kept the party going. He left the F word at home, but he kept the party going.
That's right.
He also bashed what he called fake news and the reporting of the damage done to the Iranian nuclear program. Check this gem out.
The fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all, and frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news. You're gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it. I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news.
Kat, as a half veteran, and you and Cam have Big Ben.
Yeah.
He's half veteran, so it's a total of two
technically, because
veterans.
he's half my DNA and half his. He has half
Yes.
veteran DNA.
So you are speaking for two in this particular case. What are you? I would argue that whether you hate Trump or not, the military should be off limits, right? You want to minimize and criticize him. Do you think it's fair that they go after the military even when they clearly did an excellent job?
See, my thing is I'm so anti-war because I am so pro-veteran.
Yes.
Right, and that's something that a lot of people struggle with, that distinction, right? And I think that it would be, just imagine going to war. I cannot imagine going to war. Sometimes when I look at my husband just standing in the kitchen in his underwear, I forget. But it's an incredible sacrifice, and absolutely everyone should be grateful for all those people who have made that sacrifice.
And again, I think you need to. She is so pro-veteran. People sometimes take anti-war for being anti-government or anti-American. She's positive people. There's a difference. Her loved one. She's being. You're not. Some people will be like, I don't care who goes over there as long as I get done. When someone's saying, no, I care about the veterans, and the last thing I want is them to go over. There is a difference.
Where I'm at. Yep.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we shouldn't have to clarify that. That should be we should all want the same thing. I don't want veterans to go die. I'm thankful that I'm able to sit my big ass in this chair and tell it how it is, because there's men and women in uniform making us able to do that, but I don't want them to lose their life just so I can sit here and talk. I think we need to understand that a little bit more, and especially for people who get, listen to people. We need to get back to listening to people and where they stand. Just don't assume because somebody disagrees with your point that they don't have good points too. We get too caught up with the propaganda media and forgetting that we're all human beings and we all have a family. And going after somebody who's anti-war because they have someone in their household who has to go fight, I think you should have a little bit more grace opposed to someone who's anti-war just to say, I'm anti-war.
Thank you, Tyrus.
But if we can get back to hating on why does the media, no matter what President Trump do, just they hate on everything? Like even when it's like, you can't give him one.
There's no, yeah, he can't do anything right. It wouldn't matter what he did, they would find some way to tear. You know, the one thing that did worry me when Trump was tweeting or he was on like Truth Social and he was like, hey, Israel, like turn those planes around. Could we get him a better contact over there? You know what I mean? Maybe a cell phone or something, maybe a red phone. The Twitter is how Greg Gutfeld makes me contact him. Like, I feel like there should be a better way he get. You know what I thought was pretty kind about the war that was a little bit new to me was that they were calling ahead of time and saying where they were going to bomb to save civilian casualties. That's something that I feel like is like, I don't know, it's like a silver slice of a terrible, terrible thing. And in that same spirit, I just want to let everybody know that I will be bombing June 10th at the Albany Funny Bone.
All right. Shameless plug. I will raise you another shameless plug. Before we go, I'm going to be all over the country for my What It Is comedy tour. Michigan, Iowa, Kansas, Louisville, Kentucky, and many, many more. Go to Linktree/Tyrus Smash for more information.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.